today. Learn more at Peloton Bike at onepeloton.com or visit your local showroom. It's one of my guys, senior NBA insider for Yahoo Sports, covered LeBron and the Cavs at the Cleveland Plain Dealer, former Warrior reporter. He's all locked in. He's Chris Haynes, and he is joining us today. Chris, all right, now we get to the All-Star break, right? We got 8 days off for the Lakers. That would be a perfect time, if so inclined, to move off Luke Walton. And there's a lot of rumors. Do you think Luke Walton is coaching the Lakers in 8 days, Chris?
I think he is. I think if you look at what all has transpired over the last couple of weeks, I don't think that you can place the blame primarily on Luke Walton. Look, there's no secret about it that with the trades, the trade rumors that were going on with the Lakers and New Orleans Pelicans, how everything just became so public, you just knew that it was going to take time for that locker room to heal from that. And so, then you add the fact that LeBron James is out for a significant amount of time. And I just don't think with all those factors, I just don't think you can place the blame solely on Luke as of right now. So I do think that he will be given the chance to coach past this break.
There's an interesting scenario building. Jason Tatum said he's open, or there's a report that he's open to becoming the face of the Pelicans. Now, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think they're going to let him go. Danny Ainge wouldn't allow it. But Anthony Davis also said he didn't want to be a Celtic. And then Kyrie Irving hasn't committed to the franchise. What's going on in Boston? This felt like the standard of how to rebuild a franchise. Kyrie's hurt again. A rumor that Tatum would leave. Anthony Davis, I was told last week by somebody I trust, Anthony Davis will not be a Celtic. He will not stay there. What's going on? What is happening to this perfect rebuild a year ago that it seems wobbly today?
Well, if you look at that roster, you look at what they accomplished last year, that was essentially a squad as the equivalent of a college team, where there wasn't really a true star.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of bought in, and that's Brad Stevens. He's one of the best college coaches we had, during his tenure, and he had a roster equipped to go in there and orchestrate his plan of attack. And now you add in Kyrie Irving, who was a superstar in this league. You add in Gordon Hayward, who was a star, and now you're trying to blend personalities, and that's where I think Brad Stevens has had the most problems this year, is that we know X and O's, he's up there with anybody in the league. But now he has to manage personalities, and that's the biggest obstacle that coaches have to face whenever they're, coaching some of the higher echelon players in this league, is how to manage personalities. Now, he hasn't done well in that regard, and that's where he has to overcome. Sooner or later, it's going to get to a point where you're going to have to challenge some of these guys. You may have to get in the verbal confrontation with some of these guys. I don't think he's reached the point where he feels comfortable enough to do that. But when you're dealing with guys like that on that roster right now, on top of the trade rumors being circulated, to how fierce it was, that's just something that Brad hasn't had to face in the NBA, and I think he's going through a learning curve.
By the way, they're 8-2 without Kyrie Irving. They have a better winning percentage without Kyrie, who's hurt again. They average 5 more points a game without him. They shoot better from the field without him. They average 3.5 more assists without him. He's a great offensive player, but I think to your point, Stevens has run the Butler and the young Celtic offense, and when you get a star, it's funny, Chris, a great rebounder or a great defender always make everybody better. But a great scorer doesn't make every team better. I mean, Kevin Durant is a better player than Steph Curry. But the Warriors are much better without Kevin Durant than they are Steph. I just wonder if Kyrie Irving even fits with Brad Stevens' style.
And I think that's something that I think we still have to monitor. I don't want to go out there right now and say, he doesn't make them better. But look, obviously, there's familiarity without him on the floor. They get right back to doing what they were doing last year. I will say this: at the end of a game, the last 2 minutes of a game, you do want somebody who could just go and get a bucket.
Yeah.
And Kyrie's the best at that. but definitely right now they're used to playing without Kyrie, and it's not such a big loss. But I don't know as of right now if they're a better overall team with him sidelined. We still got some more time before we figure that out.
I think Paul George is my MVP. Giannis probably 2. Close race with Harden. Who would you give it to today?
Man, I'm feeling Paul George right now, Colin. I'm what he's doing. Like, I was there in Vegas, man, when he had that catastrophic injury, man, and that was tough to see him bounce back in a way that he's playing at an all-time great level right now. Man, I wouldn't envision this at all, especially playing along Russell Westbrook. I wouldn't envision him having this type of surgery. So he's right there. I don't know if he's number one. I probably still got James, probably number one. I think I moved Paul George to number 2 right now, then Giannis. But I don't have a beef at all. If you got him number 1, hey, more power to you. He's playing at an all elite level, man. And he's definitely in the race.
Well, he's also a two-way player. Klay Thompson, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. There's a handful of guys that give it to you 2 ways. But, about a minute left. I watched body language of LeBron last night. Not great. Seemed almost disengaged at times. If I said to you, first 7-8 years in the league, it was 100% basketball. Then by the end of Miami, it was 80% basketball, 20% business. What do you think it is in L.A. today? What's the balance?
I still think the majority is basketball, Colin. Look, I think they came in with the expectations of obviously that this was not going to be a year that they competed for a championship. Now, did they think that this was going to be a season that they potentially might not make the playoffs? No. That wasn't even a thought. So what they're going through right now, the body language, you can see it. Everybody can see it, man. This is. It's going to take some time. There's some healing that needs to be done in that locker room.
Yeah.
But but look, LeBron's a competitor. If this Lakers squad, and we know as a roster that they're just not equipped to go far. But if they don't make the playoffs, man, I just predict I predict that there will be some awfully loud noise over in Lakerland over the offseason. Like there will have to be some changes made. There will be a more immense pressure placed upon that franchise. So, LeBron's focused on basketball, but, not making the playoffs. We think we've seen a lot from a LeBron James team as far as pressure and expectations. Boy, if they don't make the playoffs, we ain't seen nothing yet.
Senior NBA insider, Yahoo Sports, Chris Haynes. Good talking to you.
Thanks, Colin. Take care, my guy.
This Valentine's Day, ditch the chocolate and roses. Give the gift of comfort. Tommy John. TommyJohn.com, code HERD, 20% off your first order. TommyJohn.com, code HERD. God, that would be crazy. LeBron doesn't make the playoffs. Can you put that graphic up? I just want to see it for our TV, and I'll say it on radio, of where the Lakers are right now. Sacramento is really a fascinating team. I don't know if they have the legs at the end, but De'Aaron Fox, Marvin Bagley, interesting team. Really fun to watch. They play.
Not a lot of people are paying attention to them.
Yeah, they play really fast. I do think LeBron will figure out a way to get into the postseason. That is my guess. Final hour is coming up. We've been loaded today. Chris Bosh, Bill Poldy, and Chris Haynes. What a show so far. Hour 3 in wet and dreary Los Angeles. Please don't move here. It's the Herd.
It's a back-to-back big game Saturday on Fox. Bruno Fernando at number 24, Maryland.